Hi, welcome to Laura's View and Tarot 2. I'm really glad you're here. Today's date is Wednesday, December 21st, 2022. It is winter solstice, the shortest day of the year, and I don't celebrate it other than to be happy that starting tomorrow, our days will begin to get a little bit longer. We're just over 5 hours of daylight, and that's not enough. So, in this video, I want to look at a quote, a famous quote that's actually attributed to several people. So I can't give you a definitive answer on who the originator of that quote was. Then I want to show you what it's in reference to, and we'll get into our reading. Okay, I don't mean to be mysterious. I will show you what I'm talking about. Hang on. Okay. Those who know nothing about history are doomed forever to repeat it. And various versions of that are attributed to Will Durant, Winston Churchill, George Santayana. But the main thing is they all have the same theme. If you don't understand your history, you're going to repeat it. That seems to be a concern because there's a growing feeling among people that the Weimar Republic, which was a 12-year republic right before Hitler rose to power in Germany, has some troubling similarities to our current situation with the 46 administrator. I will put a link in the description to that article that I just gave you a quick screenshot of. It's from the Holocaust Museum. I found other sources that had information, but I'm not comfortable giving you those links even off my Facebook page because some of them came off a little anti-Semitic. Now we know that there is some confusion, that people have a justifiable reason to be anti-Khazarian mafia. And I think a lot of what was getting attributed to the Jewish population was really, in the articles I was reading, really should have been more rightly identified as Khazarian mafia. So I'm not going to give you those sites. You can look for yourself. Just remember that if people haven't got a wide enough lens, they tend to blame a faith group when it should be those who hide behind the faith group. And those who hide behind the faith group do so saying, you're anti-us, you're anti-us, and that isn't always the case. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so when I was reading about the Weimar Republic, it was very liberal. It was established by elites. They spared no expense at having their wishes and desires met, even in an economy that was struggling to rebound from the expensive conflict known as World War I. And then I thought about how Administrator 46 hosted a $1 billion dinner last month. $1 billion dinner. Now, in the Weimar Republic, it was very liberal, and all sorts of alternate lifestyles were accepted. They were encouraged to explore them. There was an institute where you could go and have any fetish or wish fulfilled, including bestiality, to name one, which I think animals don't deserve that. And as a result of this, because the regular everyday people were starving, we're dealing with inflation. That's where we get those pictures of Germans with wheelbarrows full of cash that was used just to buy one loaf of bread. And we're dealing with some pretty outrageous inflation here, not to that extent, but I hate to say it, not yet. So I thought it might be good with those correlations of the inflation, the uncaring elite, the struggles of the regular person, and the dismissal of their values, their needs, their just a total lack of focus and heart for fellow man, made it possible for an extremist to come to power. So what I wanted to do tonight was, because we don't want that to happen ever again. Extremism on either end is not good. It's not what we're about. Okay? We humans were designed to love, to grow, to learn. And the fact that that growth has been impeded by outside forces, that our health has been impacted deliberately, our longevity has been shortened, that we have been virtually enslaved and become corporate property without our informed consent. That's where we need to be looking at some changes, in my view, Laura's view. But I'd like to ask the universe tonight, because there are some correlations between the divide between elite and regular people and what was condoned and even encouraged in the Weimar Republic during its 12-year disastrous reign with lots of scandals and debauchery. I'd like to ask the universe what we need to know to avoid the same sort of thing. What should we be aware of? What insights and information do we need to keep history from repeating itself? Let's see what the universe has to say. Okay, insights and information that would help us avoid a repeat of what was seen in Weimar Germany, the knee-jerk reaction that allowed such a fanatic to rise to power. Okay, we got a 7 of Pentacles, the Star, Wheel of Fortune, 8 of Pentacles, Knight of Swords, Page of Pentacles, 7 of Wands. Well, this is kind of cool. Our question was indicated by the 7 of Pentacles, which is a card of perseverance, and that you do reap some benefit from your efforts and your endeavors. Okay, and then it's clarified, or a little more is shown with the Star card, which is our first major arcana showing up here. The Star card is a card of harmony and optimism, creative power. Okay, it's also sometimes indicative of some divine energy. So I think what we're being told is, as our world changes, and as we move past this current disaster that is our resident 46, we're going to have some divine help on that change. So it's going to keep us from going to extreme opposites. And we're getting, it's interesting that the recent past is showing the Wheel of Fortune, that this has already happened, this change. So I wonder if there's, again, we've had some indication that there's some big news that's been, that hasn't been made public. And this is kind of confirming that. Because this was pretty much a political type of question. How can we, as people, avoid a reaction that is just so 180 degrees different than what we're having, that we end up possibly welcoming a charismatic figure, someone that ultimately isn't good for the people, okay? So it looks like there's already been some changes that have happened. Now, we're getting told that this is a card, the Eight of Pentacles is a card of skilled labor. It's, I believe, also indicating that if we do the effort, because our history has not been honestly and completely shared with us. So we are going to have to do some hard work to understand our history, and in understanding it, avoid repeating it. And but it's looking good. It's looking like that's something we can do. It's one of the objectives of the White Hats and Alliance is to have us come through this tumultuous period without clinging to someone charismatic who is not good for us. So we've got some white hat help with that. Hopefully they'll stay on point. Because as I've been saying, and I keep saying, ultimately, the legacy of the white hats should be that they so thoroughly did their job that they worked themselves out of a job. And what a legacy that would be. We got another pentacle showing up here because part of what's going to help us do that is if in conjunction with some big changes we have a more obvious rollout of some financial changes, even if it happens in a rather slow fashion, it's going to help keep extreme reactions from happening. And again, this is looking at the near future. Okay, we've got white hats, in control. We have a card here. This is the Ace of Pentacles, which is one of manifesting and material success. So that's why I'm saying, I think in conjunction with one of the things that will keep this from happening is a change in how we work with, use, and have access to funds for our needs in daily life. Okay. The white hats are on the high ground here. I do not buy the narrative that's getting pushed, that they're the minority. I'm sorry, there are just too many people that are awake. There's just too many people that, even in government, I know there's some that say, hey, this one's in power, so I'm gonna hitch my wagon to him and get rich, and or at least be on the easiest street possible. But there's just too many people that just know that there's been shenanigans and actions that have an extreme penalty for them. And I don't think that they follow along. Plus, there's a lot of people that take that oath they take when they go into the military about against enemies, foreign and domestic. And unfortunately, a lot of our enemies right now are domestic, but I don't buy that the white hats, the alliance, are outnumbered. I don't buy that at all. Let's get some other insights, because it looks like we're being told, know our history, even if we have to work to get it. Okay? Be aware as things change, and they're already changing, that going from one extreme to the other is never healthy. We have the Ace of Cups. Again, another ace. Beautiful cup. And it's one of love and psychic abilities, because as humanity is freed, I think we're going to learn more about powers and skills and abilities that have been discounted in the past, downplayed, and even as much as possible dismissed as something we can develop. And those hindrances, those artificial hindrances, are going to come out of the way. Ace of Cups is showing up here again, and it's landing boom on top of these pentacles about hard work and reaping, good rewards for your hard work. We have the Death card showing up. It's also touching the Wheel of Fortune. And the Death card is a card that indicates long, slow change. We know that the plans that have been enacted from 17 and Associates, the Alliance, the White Hats, have been decades in the making. We're just now aware of them and coming into the final time period when those things will be made manifest. But they will happen. Okay. And again, this is my card that says the Four of Cups, don't miss the forest for the trees, okay? Don't be so focused on these that you don't notice these possibilities. Cups cards are about emotions, and usually when we have this one, it means there's going to be a kind of a hiatus, a quiet time, a time to contemplate. And we're being told it's good. It's good to remember what we've come from, what we don't want to repeat of. It's good to know and not dismiss something, but look at all the facts that we have available to us or that we're able to dig up and make some wise decisions that aren't knee-jerk reactions. Then we have a card here, the last card, the Three of Pentacles, another Pentacle card here, but this is a good card of firm foundations. We're just getting reassured that as these changes are happening in our world, they truly have been set up to happen with a very good, stable foundation so that humanity can move forward in a new way and take their place as a growing, learning, prospering human race, not divided, but united as human. So it looks like what the cards are saying, even though there are some correlations between the Weimar Republic and Administration 46 and what's happening with our open borders and anything goes, and let's not teach kids to read, let's teach them all about their anatomy. All that stuff that's going on, there are some correlations. But the changes that are coming are going to roll out in such a way that we won't have the extreme reaction. In the meantime, though, when someone does come on the scene who's charismatic, okay, get to know him or her and their message with interest, but don't give them your full trust and give away your sovereignty and your power unless it's justified. Someone's trust, it's earned. Trust is earned. You can't demand it. And it's earned not on words, but on actions. Don't forget that, okay? That's it for this video, this solstice 2022 night. I hope everybody watching this is in the best of health or getting better if they're not. I hope that you're finding ways to smile, to unplug, ground yourself, and enjoy this gift of life that we've got, even though times are complicated and that we could focus on things and wallow in worry. We're not going to. We're going to keep ourselves aware of the negative, but enjoying and celebrating the positive. Thank you for subscribing, for liking this video and all my others, and spending time with me. I don't take it for granted. Until next time, love and light to everyone. Good night.